Bohm thought it was all fun and games in episode 5 of the Midnight Studio, when she was seeing the friendly ghost. And then when she started seeing the mean ones, then she just couldn't take it anymore. And I'm like, I guess you should have been nicer to him. Hmm?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review on the Review Garden.
This is a disclaimer if you haven't seen episodes 5 and 6 of the Midnight Studio, please check them out before continuing to listen to this review. When he's trying to explain to her about all the ghosts and like, see, this is why you shouldn't be crying wolf, right? Because she kept calling him for every little thing, right? So he was like, use my number for emergencies only, right? So in the beginning, he was like all like shaken up for every time she called him, right? And then he was just like, oh my god, he was tired of answering the phone when she didn't really need anything. So now that she really needs him, he's not picking up the phone. And it seems like her seal is broken. It was working in the studio. Well, in his, yeah, they were in the studio. It was working in the studio because the ghost who passed away from heart attack, he came into the circle and then it like shooted him all the way on the other side of the room. But when the guy came to ask for her number, he was really close to her, like almost touching her. And the seal didn't do anything because she's supposed to be the safe zone. But I did notice that back at the studio, it worked because Kiju stepped right next to her. So it's almost like both of them need to be together. And this is, you know, a review at the 21-minute mark. So I'm like saying that maybe they both need to be together now since she's seeing ghosts. They both need to be together in order for the seal to work. So this is going to be interesting. And the guy, the ghost who had the heart attack, he's like adamant that it was her who was texting him the night he died, because the night he died he was supposed to meet someone. And and he couldn't, obviously, because he died. And he got a heart attack because his boss kept pushing that he needed to stay and complete another project. But I have a feeling that the person he was texting is her friend, because he's so adamant that it was her, but she's like, I wasn't texting anyone. And especially during the time that you say it was, I was just fired and there was no way I was texting anyone. So maybe her friend had something to do with it. And then speaking of her friend, I'm guessing the whole reason she kept traveling the world is because the doctor told her that she had this rare form of cancer and she only had 1 year left to live. And when she went back to the doctor to get a new scan, the doctor's like, oh, well, it looked like you are improved now, right? Like you can go live your life. And she's like, what? What? I put my trust in you. I, spent my severance pay. I quit my job, you know, all this stuff because you told me I only had 1 year to live. And now you're telling me I'm going to live? Oh my gosh, she was so pissed. She, like she almost wanted to like punch him. I mean, it honestly, it's an accurate reaction, because she thought she was about to die and she pretty much took care of everything that she needed to take care of. She traveled, you know. But now that she's going to live, she pretty much has to start over again. And for some people, it's not easy. But, she's going to have to, make it. If I was her, though, I would get a second opinion because she probably didn't even have cancer to begin with at this point, you know? Or I don't know. I would still, if I was in her shoes, I would get a second opinion. Or maybe it's going to be like, oh, she's going to become the same type of ghost as him if the doctor is giving her fake news right now. So who knows? After seeing so many of the ghosts, the bad ghosts, Bohm decided that she did not want to see ghosts anymore and that he should have tried to help her. So Kiju goes to the the place where he was before, where he first met her, in the elevator. The guy who attacked him that day, he wanted to use him because um, the ghost that passed away with the heart attack, he discovered two different cases where a child has seen ghosts, and one of them was Kiju's journal, and the other one, they were like, oh, if she goes and takes a picture with another ghost, then she can stop seeing ghosts altogether, right? So that's why he went to the elevator to get that guy, and he promised the guy that he would solve his issue if the guy went to the netherworld. There was another clip where they showed that um you shouldn't just bring people in like that. So that's another rule that he bended. Another rule that he bended for her. And you know he thought, or she thought, that it worked when she woke up the next morning, but it seems like something happened, that like the I've never seen the bad spirits actually cause the accidents, but like for the next case, I'm assuming they're going to try to solve, and this one didn't really solve anyone's case. It was mostly her. They were focusing on getting her to stop seeing ghosts. So I think the next one is gonna be the young guy that the accident happened. And I'm like, the final truck that hit him, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you could have stopped. Like, you didn't have to run into all the cars like that. You could have seen from far away that there was, an accident. You could have stopped. You didn't have to keep going. But I think they're going to be focusing on him. And I don't even know where he came from, but he got there just in time to like, cover her face, because he could see that she could see ghosts at that moment. So we're going to see what's going to happen next. Episode 6 started, and you could see Kiju getting out of bed, because even though the fact that he opened the door when he wasn't supposed to, in order to stop the Bohm from seeing ghosts. So he he already knew that he was gonna get sick. So even though he was sick, he went out to go see if she was all right. So while he was out, he saw um the spirit, the ghost behind the boy that quote caused the accident, right? Um And then that's when he ran to her and covered her eyes from seeing all the other ghosts from the accident. So the subtitle said that he thinks it's the Grim Reaper. So the Grim Reaper's coming after him. So death is unavoidable for him. Um, the fact that he opened the door when he wasn't supposed to. The whole thing with the accident with the boy, I mean, to put the blame solely on him is really unfair because one, Kiju did see the Grim Reaper behind him, like helping causing the pretty much causing the accident. And he's been working for so many hours. He was working 70 hours a week. That's a lot. And when the accident happened, the company that he was working for, he's an independent contractor. The company that he was working for is like, oh, we're not responsible for what happened, and they tried to even hide the correct logs, you know. And the people who were working with him, they, even the one closest to him, had a moment where he was not, by his side. He just heard the boss say, "You're gonna be working full time," and then all of a sudden, he didn't care for him, right? He didn't want to get in trouble. And I'm like, dude, this man, when you had to go to take care of your son, he picked up the shift for you and he did all this thing for you, and then you just leave him out to dry like that because he's dead. Like, how is that gonna come back to you? And that's what Kiju told him. He's like, okay, well, if you don't want to do it for the boy who passed away, like, do it then for your own son, because how are you expecting other people to treat him properly when you won't treat other people properly? You know what I mean? And if you really look at it, the story of the boy who died, it was really bad, right? So his parents left him in a bag. I think it was in front of the church, and then he grew up his whole life in an orphanage. And then every time these kids pick on him and he gets in fights, he is the one who gets blamed because, quote, he doesn't have a family. And I'm like, okay, how does that make sense? And the mother's coming, oh, he doesn't, oh, I heard he's from an orphanage. He doesn't have any family. He needs to be punished. And I'm like, you're okay. Your son has a quote family and he's the one bullying him, and your son is perfect. Like, how does that make sense? And you see it often in a lot of dramas. Like, they always make the ones with the family pick on the one without the family, and then you have the stupid mothers coming and saying, oh, he doesn't have a family, that's why he's hitting on my boy. And I'm like, your boy's not perfect. Up until the point he keeps getting in fights that the school the school made him drop out. So now he had to work hard to get his diploma. So Kiju had to go work and get him like an honorary diploma, so that, even after death, he could feel like he belongs somewhere and that he actually accomplished something. Like, his life was hard. And then for him to take the sole blame for the accident. So Kiju was like, the school called Kiju and was like, oh, I'm not giving an honorary diploma to a murderer. And that's when the news came out that he was the one who caused the whole thing, and the company was not taking any blame. So, Bohm went and was like, I'm gonna sue them And then, Kiju had to go talk to the other guys that worked with the with the boy, so that they could come in and join the suit that she filed, right? So in the end, he ended up getting his graduation. Kiju kind of arranged his graduation for him, and he also brought the other coworkers in to help him celebrate, and that's who who he took pictures with as his final moments. So I thought that was really nice to happen for him. My The other thing that happened in this episode is like he had moments to tell her that, hey, because she came into the studio, Bohm came into the studio, and she was looking at all the photos of his ancestors, and she was like, they all look young. And then he's like, yeah, that's because they took this picture at 35. And she was like, why at 35? Like, and then she even saw the missing poster for his uncle. And obviously I'm not putting the blame on her fully, right? But he's just like so quiet about it. And then, you know, he's like he's gonna be leaving in 89 days. And then when she was at his house trying to like sleep off, seeing all the ghosts again, she she noticed like on the map different places that he highlighted, and she's thinking like that's where he's going to travel, but I'm thinking it's where he thinks his uncle was or last seen, or you know and then part of her payment, she wanted to tell him her feelings, and she was like, let's just promise that we're going to see each other tomorrow and stuff like that and seal it. And I'm like, dude, after 89 days you're not going to see her tomorrow. There's a probability you're not going to see her tomorrow. So, you know him making that promise, knowing that, and then when she's going to find out, you already know they're going to get in this big fight. And, you know, now it is true. They have to stay in each other's, they have to stay in each other. They are each other's safe zone, right? He can't get the safe zone without her being next to him, and she can't get the safe zone without him being next to her. And the thing that is intriguing to me right now is their past, right? They keep talking about the girl who came into his very first visitor, right? So it seems like his very first visitor was her. But then how could it make sense? Because the girl that was in the car when the accident happened is the same girl that that when he was young, that he put the circle around the two of them, and when he was young, to save her from the other ghost. So it's like, is she dead? Well, obviously she's not dead if other people can see her, but she also has that seal on her arm. So I guess that's when we're going to, see more of how the story develops. But I find it quite interesting. And the other thing, the part I didn't like, right? Um, is when the other ghost, the one who died of a heart attack, how he's scaring the other girl. When he finds out that it's Bohm's friend, I feel like he's gonna feel so bad. She finished working hard on that thing. Her nose was even bleeding. Like she could suffer the same, death as him. And especially since the doctor said she only had a year, to live, and now he's saying that she's fine, but maybe she's not fine. Her nose was bleeding from overworking. So I'm pretty sure this girl is not fine, right? So now she finished taking all her time to do the work and he just erased it. And I'm like, what are you doing? I can understand you getting back at the jerks. Why doesn't he use the time to get back at his boss? Right? Scare your boss. Why are you scaring the people who are coming to work? Um the people who are, you know, the intern. Like why are you scaring them? And there was a moment where Kiju was like, the reason that the detective is still here and that he is still here, the ghost who had the heart attack, is because they have unfinished business that they haven't settled yet, and they don't know, they they probably don't know what it is they need to settle. Well, the detective, I'm pretty sure we know what he needs to settle, right? He left his wife behind and he died on the day of their anniversary, which is so sad. The stupid guy is like heartless. The man told you it's his anniversary and he needs to get home to his wife. And then because you're trying to run away, you stab him multiple times. And I'm like, what? So obviously that's his unfinished business. He still goes to visit his wife and stuff like that. And then he's like, move you should have moved on by now. How is she going to move on when you keep lingering around? Huh? It's gonna be hard because she's seeing these things happening in her house. Obviously she's feeling like you're still here. So how is she going to move on? And the fact that the guy still hasn't been caught, right? They keep having moments of catching him, but they still won't catch him. So I don't know. And I don't know, but I'm suspecting his partner, because where was the partner? Where was the partner the day that he died? He was nowhere to be found. So where was he? And why haven't you caught this guy yet? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. So I hope he's not involved, but you never know. He could be. And with the ghost with the heart attack, I don't know what his unfinished business is. I mean, at first you would have thought that it was the girl. He, well, I guess that is his unfinished business because he has a long list of things that he wanted to do. And when he possessed that guy and got someone to ask for his number, he crossed it off the list. And part of the list is to find his lost love or his one and only. So I guess once he finds her, then he'll be able to move on, which I'm pretty sure that it might be the cousin. I mean, not the cousin, the friend. So I guess we will find out in that one, in that case.
And this wraps up our journey on the Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on the Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye.